Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to give you guys a heads up to our good friends over at Fanatical and their red hot sale, and they've got a lot of great deals available. Now, in this video, I'm going to be highlighting a lot of the more expensive options. We'll go over one cheap option as well, but there's a lot of great historic lows on some very, very notable deals, so we'll go through all of those. But right off the top, I figured, a lot of people are picking up RoboCop Rogue City. If you have yet to, it is still available at Fanatical for $3.74. So I thought I would note that as the one super cheap deal. $3.74 on RoboCop is insane. This is a really good game, and Unfinished Business, the expansion, is coming out later in the summer, and this has been one of those deals that Steam's got it directly on there for $4.99. Get it even better for at a better price for $3.74. I think people were kind of floored by this price point when they saw it. But, yeah, I literally thought, like, it was a system error and it was a glitch or something like that, but that was not the case. It's just, they're putting RoboCop heavily discounted, and I think it's smart, given that the expansion is coming out later in the summer. But yeah, $3.74 on that, great deal there. Alright, now we're gonna get to some more expensive games, and why not start off with a game that's over $40, but Black Myth Wukong has been holding up in price, $43.79 over at Fanatical. Wukong was one of the standout games of 2024. I heard from a lot of people that thought that this was Game of the Year in 2024. Wouldn't go that far, but I did really enjoy the game. You guys know me, the challenging action game archetype really isn't my cup of tea, but I still really appreciated Wukong from the standpoint of incredible setting, great visuals, aesthetics are great, soundtrack is good, and incredibly stylish combat as well. It can get fairly difficult, and for me, maybe it's just a get good kind of thing, and, for you guys, it won't be all too difficult. But yeah, $43.79 on that, historic low price point for that, so definitely check that out. Next up, this deal I always gotta recommend whenever we see it at a sizable discount. Castlevania, the Dominus collection, is 45% off for $13.74. Bear in mind that I've been vocal about the fact that I already thought the $24.99 launch price was crazy, and then when it goes on sale for $18 to $20, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Now that it's literally under $14, this deal is just nuts. You get Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow, Order of Ecclesia, and Portrait of Ruin. I don't know why, but I always say the game's out of order. It's Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia. I own all of these games on the Nintendo DS. Physically, they're worth a pretty penny, so pat on the back for myself, but you got all three games in this collection, and yes, they are Nintendo DS games, so they're gonna be a little bit janky as far as their presentation with the dual screen setup. That's unfortunately the reality with all of the DS games that end up getting ports and whatnot, but Castlevania, these games are at such a high level that you just suck it up and you play it. And the way they do it is fairly decent for what they can do, but $13.74 on this is tremendous. Definitely go ahead and check that out. Next up, my game of the year for 2024, Metaphor ReFantazio, $37.79. Once again, it is a hefty price point, but there are times when a game is just so good that, you know what, you spend the premium price point. Metaphor is one of those games, and I think Metaphor is better than every single Persona game, and that's a personal opinion. I'm not crazy about the Persona setting. I still love those games, but Metaphor, to me, that fantasy setting I thought was so well done. The soundtrack is incredible. The characters are great. The story is awesome, and yeah, some of the plot twists, if you pay attention, you can see them coming a mile away, but the execution of them was masterful. I thought the game was just outstanding. It's one of those games that even though it's a 70, 80 hour long game, this is a game that I'm absolutely going to go back and do multiple playthroughs of in the future, just because, it's not like it's an incredibly replayable game in the sense that there's all these dialogue options and the narrative completely changes and all that, but it's such a great game that it really hits that pantheon for me of, some of my favorite games of all time. I really put Metaphor right up there with the Red Dead 2s, the Witcher 3s. It is such a good game, and that anime aesthetic is right up my alley, so, yeah, $37.79. Definitely check that out. A couple of Horizon games. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, $26.74, and Horizon Forbidden West, $32.09. I love the Horizon games. They are my comfort food in gaming. I totally get why some people aren't crazy about these games, but Horizon, from an open world standpoint, I think the games are gorgeous. I like the gameplay. The story I really liked in Zero Dawn. I thought they got kind of crazy in Forbidden West, but still overall really did enjoy both games. These editions also have the respective expansions in Frozen Wilds and Burning Shores. Games are great, runs well on PC, and good prices on those. Next up, a game that I'm sure everybody loves and nobody has anything negative to say. I am being sarcastic. Monster Hunter Wilds is $46.89. Look, I had a good time with Monster Hunter Wilds. I totally get the issues people have had with them. It's at a decent discount. I've heard that the title update has messed up the performance for a lot of people even more. You know, I'm not going to say the game runs perfect on my 4070, but it's a playable experience, and I played through the entirety of it with a 4070, and, you know, I didn't experience a lot of crashes or whatnot, but this is one of those cases that, oh my god, it must be your PC, because I didn't have any problems, that means nobody else did. No, I was one of the lucky ones where I didn't face a lot of issues with Monster Hunter Wilds, but I know a lot of people that did, and the game kind of looks like crap as well. For a game that has these kinds of requirements, it runs kind of terrible, so, you know, it is what it is. $46.89 on that. Silent Hill 2, the remake, $30.79. Good to see this continue to get cheaper and cheaper. A great remake, although, you know, Silent Hill 2 is not a game that I have this nostalgic affinity towards, like, let's say, Resident Evil 4. Like, that remake I could really appreciate. Silent Hill 2, as far as a remake goes, I can't really appreciate it, but the game itself is great. An incredibly atmospheric horror game. Highly recommended, and Bloober Team really put them more so on the map. Like, I've known them for a while with The Observer and The Medium, and they've done some great work, but Silent Hill 2 Remake seems to really have expanded and broadened their appeal. So $30.79 on that. Helldivers 2, $28. I mean, the game consistently gets updated. It's a great co-op experience. If you have yet to check it out, you got some buddies to play with, you're certainly to have a good time with that. Persona 3 Reload is $28.34. Like, look, I wasn't as crazy about Persona 3 Reload as much as a lot of other people. Persona 3 itself, I'm just not that crazy about the game, and the Tartarus, I think, is so dated. However, the soundtrack is still amazing, the story's still really good, the gameplay's solid. As far as the actual turn-based combat, like the Tartarus design, I'm not crazy about. And again, you know, if you like the Persona style, you'll enjoy Persona 3 Reload, and you're getting it at $28 and change. I do think that's a great price, so I would recommend it from that standpoint. Lords of the Fallen, $14.69. They recently dropped Lords of the Fallen 2.0, have consistently updated the game. I really like the realm mechanic of the game. I thought mechanically it was a pretty interesting game, and visuals were decent. Performance on PC was atrocious initially, but nonetheless, $14.69 on that. And then lastly, Sonic Frontiers, $16.49 on this. You guys know me, I love Sonic Frontiers. I thought it was a great game. Yes, does it have some issues from a gameplay standpoint? Sure, but I think they have the foundation set for what Sonic could become, and it looks like we'll get Frontiers 2 hopefully next year. Amazing soundtrack to this game, a good bit of content, and a worthwhile game to go through, especially at this price point of $16.49. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals over at Fanatical. All of these deals are Steam keys, so you redeem them directly on Steam and you are good to go, and some great deals across the board. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.